Hola mi amigas! Today I have another Tip Tuesday for you, and today it's going to be all about under eye concealer and getting it to look as smooth as possible. Before we get into it, I want to make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and are able to get all the notifications and make sure that you can check out every single video that I upload. And also wanted to remind you to check out my vlog channel. We've been doing Vlogmas, just uploaded another video over there today where we're making Christmas cookies. It also is one where it looks like Silent Hill outside. It's kind of terrifying, but make sure that you're subscribed so you can check that out too. This tip is something I really wanted to talk about because I am so guilty of feeding into what I'm seeing online and seeing like a popular application styles and then it not working for me and wondering why it's not working for me, and I cracked the code. You've probably seen tutorials where people are doing their eye makeup and they've got a lot of powder underneath their eyes. A lot of the times this is meant to catch any eyeshadow fallout, which it works really well for, but sometimes people use it to do something that is called baking. Baking is basically a term for applying a lot of powder underneath your eyes, maybe along your jawline. It sets your makeup, it sets your foundation, then you wipe away the extra. This is something that before the last couple of years was mainly a drag makeup style. The reason for this is for a couple of reasons why it works really well for drag queens. One, it locks your foundation in place. It keeps everything super set. The powder kind of mixes with the foundation and it locks it down. And two, most of the time drag queens, they're performing. So they're working really hard and they might get sweaty and they want everything to stay in place. Three, drag queens are generally applying makeup to be seen from a distance because they're performing, so they want everyone to be able to see their looks. So you have to think of it in a way that this is a makeup style that's meant to last through pretty much an entire like cardio exercise, and it's meant to set their makeup so that it looks good even from far away. What I found is that for the average everyday makeup, it is way too heavy. And if you think about it, it really kind of makes sense because most of us are not doing our makeup while we're performing on stage. If you are, this is not the video for you. We don't need to have that much coverage. On top of that, we're also looking at our face from like this far away, if you're anything like me, and so you notice a lot more imperfections. I noticed that when I was trying to do this makeup style that I kept finding that I would get really bad creases underneath my eyes and they would just be really amplified and over the top, and it was sort of, I started to wonder what was going on. So I tried to kind of try different styles and found something that I think works really well. Basically what we're doing here is just totally incorporating less is more. I use a couple of products to make sure that my under eye area is smooth as possible. Number one is a really good eye cream. I use an Estee Lauder one at night to make sure that it really hydrates the under eye area because it is the most delicate area of skin on your face. You want to make sure that you're taking care of it. And then I use a good one during the day as well. Let that soak in totally. And then the next thing that I'll do is I will use an actual under eye primer. Only brand I've ever found to actually make this is Smashbox, and it is called their Photo Finish Hydrating Under Eye Primer. This is something else that helps to really smooth out that area, hydrate, and just keep everything looking super nice, super smooth. If you have dark under eye circles, then this would be the time to color correct. If your under eye circles are more bluish and purplish, you want to use something that has more of kind of a peachy tone to it so it'll kind of cancel it out. The one today I'm using is from Collab. It is the No Flaws Under Eye Concealer. This one's really nice. It is very thick. My favorite brushes to use for under eye concealer are from Sigma. They are the precision brushes. Using the precision angled first, and I just dip it into the concealer and just pat it just on top of the discoloration. You're using this color just to cancel out the darker under eye circles. So I'll just put a teeny tiny bit, and then I actually will use my fingers to press it kind of into my skin. The warmth from my fingers helps to make the concealer a little bit more blendable and kind of really get it to meld into the skin, which is what we want. Once I've done that, I will use a regular concealer. I actually use one that's just a little bit lighter than my actual skin tone because this is an area we generally want to brighten. The one I'm using today is from CoverFX. It is the Power Play Concealer. I'm using it in N Fair 2, Neutral Fair 2. You've probably seen in the past how Kim Kardashian does her makeup or anything where people are doing the giant triangles. That's not what we're doing here. All I found is that when I put a ton more product under my eyes, it just builds up, it sinks into those crevices, and it looks awful. So I'm using just a teeny tiny bit and blending away from my eyes. When I'm applying my concealer, I try and really only put product below where my lower lash line is, kind of like below where I can feel my eyeballs. I guess that's the weird way to put it, but the accurate way. So the orbital bone, if we're being scientific. I try really hard to put very little product all the way up to my lashes, my lower lashes. That's where the majority of, for me at least, that's where the majority of the creasing and those tiny, tiny little fine lines are. And the more product that's there, the more it's going to show up. So I'll just apply a little bit of concealer and I blend it downwards. And then again, after I've blended it out, I'll use my fingers just to lightly press it into the skin to make sure that everything kind of melds into the skin. It's not just sitting on top. Finally, I will set the product so that it stays put. But, huge but here, huge but. This is where it's really important to use a little bit of powder. This is where I don't like to go crazy. I don't like to do the baking style because all that I found for me is that it just ends up just causing a mess and making everything, all my effort I just did, look awful. So what I will do is I'll take a small brush. The one I'm using today is another Sigma one. It is the high cheekbone highlighter, but I am using it for my setting powder for underneath my eyes today because it is nice and fluffy and it's loose, so I can get the product really into the brush, really push the product in and then tap away the extra so I have just what I need. The first thing I'll do is just press it onto my under eye area and then I'll go in and sweep. If I just go sweep, there's a chance that the concealer might not be dry yet and it can grab and it can pull. So if I press, it's going to sit on top and then I can brush and really get it in. So the main things you can get out of this video for creating a really smooth under eye area is less is more. So don't use nearly as much product as you may see people using. The trendy way to apply makeup is not really the best if you end up having issues with it ending up getting in creases and crevices, stuff like that. Make sure that the area is super duper hydrated. Blend your concealer away from your eyes. So try and keep any concealer, the majority of it, away from that really small area on your lower lash line. And then set with just a teeny tiny amount of powder. Really get the powder into the brush instead of having it sit on top and then blend it into your skin. And then you're going to have results like this where it's super smooth. Any fine lines are not exemplified, they're not magnified because of product. And it looks good and it's gonna stay like that. I really hope that this Tip Tuesday was helpful for you all. This was something that changed everything. It changed the game for me when I tried it and figured out what the problem was. Tell me your tips, any tips you want me to talk about, things that have totally changed the game for you, whether it's about makeup, skincare, hair care, any life tip at all. I'm totally game to talk about it. Send me a DM on Instagram, send me an email, put them in the comments, make a video, whatever you wanna do. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a like because I like you. Make sure you stick around because I am uploading videos all week long. And I'll see you next time.